typically, it does not simply mean how to remove your boss from being your boss or how to, remove him from his position. That's not what this is talking about. Okay. On the flip side of this, is simply saying how to become indispensable that your boss will find it difficult to release you. That's what it means. How to become indispensable in the workplace to the point that your boss will find it extremely difficult to release you. That if somebody says something will have to take you to a different location or there, your boss will be competing to let you go because of how what a resourceful person you are or you are being. So there are practically about 11 points I want to talk to us about this noonday about how to become indispensable in your workplace. How to become indispensable in your workplace. So um, the first point is that you have to become an expert in the area of your responsibility in the workplace. Become an expert. Don't forget, we are discussing, we said on the flip side of this conversation, how to fire your boss, we are simply talking about how to become indispensable in the workplace, so much more that your boss and superiors will find it very difficult to release you or to have you replaced. All right, so the first one is to become an expert. In your area of specialization, be an expert. Be good at your job. If anybody comes into the system and asks who will do this or who will do that, everybody will have to point you. And any day you are not there, everything will stand still. Be that an expert. That everybody will have to look up to you to do the job you know how to do best. So the first way to fire your boss is to become an expert. When you become an expert, your boss will know that you are a very creative and resourceful person and will always have you on board and have you as part of the major decision stakeholders of the system. So for you to become indispensable in a particular system, be an expert. All right. So some people who don't understand your value, even if they lay you off, they will come back looking for you with a different bargaining system because you are an expert. And this is what I want to encourage everybody to do. Become an expert in your own choosing area. All right. Then the second one is the 2 miles principle. The 2 miles principle operates the 2 miles principle. The 2 miles principle, I extracted it from the story of our Lord Jesus Christ that said, if someone wants you to take them a mile, journey with them for 2 miles. So, journey extra mile. So, the 2 miles principle is simply a culture of adding extra to whatever task you were given. It's just a culture to make something different out of every responsibility that you're created. All right. So the person who operates the 2 miles principle learn or have cultivated that attitude of adding an extra thing to whatever he's told to do. When I set up as a lawyer, right, people were doing documents. I see some people who prepare land documents, these 2 pages is 3 pages. So I had to enunciate details. I had to do stuff so that if I do document for you, you will really say, no, no, there's something different about this. All right. I set it up by using Concord paper, not just the plain white A4 that people use. I had to do something different. I had to do something extra so that someone will see that I have an extra value to add to the money that is being paid. So I like to operate the extra mile principle. It will also get to land you extra patronage because people get to see that there's an extra value that you're bringing to the table. So for you to become indispensable in the workplace, you must learn how to operate a 2 mile principle. So that if your boss gives you a responsibility to meet up with, you double the expectation and give back to him. He will not want to lay you off. Never. You become indispensable. It will be so difficult for your boss to release you operating that. All right. So the third one is let your boss shine. The third way to become indispensable in the workplace is to let your boss shine. Of course, when Dr. Jude was writing the publicity about this, he said, never outshine the master. All right. So no matter how good you are, no matter how diligent you are, if kings don't see you, you will not be relevant, you will not be visible before men. So no matter how superior you are to your boss, you have to remain loyal and project him. Sometimes when he makes the mistake and you have the kudos, project him as the person who does the job. All right? Make sure you lift your boss. Talk about him. When you study consolidated systems, you see that one man is projected. Okay, and that's the typical thing with visions. All right, every vision must have one man as a pioneer. If you bring two men, two philosophies, you will not just bring in vision, you will create the vision. Because when one man is at the helm, it becomes vision. But when you bring in an extra force, it becomes division. All right, it becomes two people die, vision. All right, that's the structure of this. So you must learn to allow your boss to be seen, lift him up, let him be so visible. As a matter of fact, patronize him so well that he becomes so full of himself that he speaks about you anywhere he goes. All right, so do not attempt to outshine your boss. Do the best to allow him to have his moment, allow him to have his flow, recognize him, introduce him, applaud him, eulogize him. Everything you can do, do it for your boss. Whether he's a good boss or not, eulogize him. In fact, by so doing, you will reap coals of burning fire on his head to always recognize your competence. By so doing, you make it very difficult for him to let you go, even when you are in the wrong, because you understand that you are a person that understands his value. So the fourth one is offer solution. Be a person who brings solution and not a person who always detects problem in the system. Okay, so there are people that have a special optic vision to detect problems in every system. When they walk into an environment, what they see are things that need to be worked on, things that need to be changed. It's not that they are bad in it, so, but they don't have the eyes that also talk about the solution or the remedies. But what they do is just to pick on the faults. Don't be that kind of person. In a workplace, become a solution provider. When you become a solution provider, every boss or superior want to hear you, want to get to know your opinion. All right. There was once a leader that this state once had. People in his cabinet were complaining that His Excellency was not listening to anybody, even his commissioners. His opinion was the most superior thing, and anything he says, everybody will have no option than to go with it. But there was a man within his cabinet. Anytime the man opens his mouth to talk, he will have to listen to what the man says, no matter his bossiness and his superiority. Why? Because the man knows his onions. When a boss, no matter how hydra-headed is, observes someone who carries solution, you have no option than to what? Observe that. All right. So to become indispensable in a workplace, you have to become a solution and not part of the problem to be solved. When you talk about problems in systems without remedies to solve them, you become part of the problem to be solved. All right. So the fifth one is choose your camp wisely. Choose your camp wisely. If you come into a system or a workplace and you see they have cliques and group of people, okay, there are certain people in the red list of your workplace. Okay, there are people that are bookmarked for the wrong things within the workplace. Do not align with them, because when you align with them, the structural leadership of the system considers you as part of the bad eggs. So you have to learn how to choose your camp wisely when you walk into a system and you align with the good heads. Okay, then your bosses will have no choice than to think of you as a good head. Because I said that a bookful blockhead, ignorantly read, is a lumper load. All right? So you have to learn to use your association wisely by identifying the right camp. All right, what's the sixth one? You have to learn to be a team player. He talked about competition and being able to collaborate. Instead of that, though, you be a team player. So you must be a person who like to work with a team of people, not just alone. Is a certain level of strength. All right, within the workplace, be a kind of person who collaborates. Dr. Jude made reference to that. All right, be a person who collaborates instead of competing, complement. Instead of competing, complete. Instead of competing, complete. All right. So collaboration makes the job easier. Collaboration is the highest form of leverage. Okay, that mantles your weaknesses on the strength of others to be able to shine or to be able to be visible. All right. When you're a person who carries people along, who acts as a team player and coordinates other people to follow you, your bosses will know who the leader is. All right. So the seventh principle is learn how to lead without portfolio. So naturally, anybody who is a team player is already a leader without portfolio. You walk into systems, you see those who are born sanguines, who are people's persons, people rally around them for no just cause. All right, they are born to do their things, to move the crowd, to move the mob, and then attract followership to their net. Those people are born to influence people, and leadership is influence. All right, so for you to learn to lead with that portfolio is not only to be yourself. All right, you must not be in a positional leadership to be a leader, because positional leadership is also part of leadership. Okay, so it's possible that you can lead without being um, a key stakeholder or a major stakeholder. You are not the this person. So you must not wait to be in a particular position or portfolio before you consider yourself as a leader. So you learn how to lead without being in position. One of the first foremost kinds of leadership we have is personal leadership. And personal leadership says you must learn how to lead yourself first. That is what we call intra-personal leadership. It is an internal form of leadership. You have to lead yourself first before you talk about leading others. All right? So that is it. You must learn how to lead without a portfolio. Then the ninth one is that you have to, I mean the 80th one rather, learn how to, oh, that is, do not compete. That's the eighth one, please. Don't compete. Ladder complete. All right, that's the 80th one. The ninth one is be trustworthy and a dependent person. You be a reliable person. All right, being a reliable person helps you to escape liability. All right, being a dependable person earns you recommendation. Anytime you find yourself being so honest and trustworthy, is a value to be cultivated. Why? Because when the chips are down, even those people that you think that they don't value you, they will look for you, because they know when it comes to speaking the truth, they know who to go and look for. When it comes to accountability and trustworthiness, they know who to go for. So in a workplace, if you want to become highly indispensable, become a dependable person and a trustworthy. There are bosses who have left their accountants to bank with someone and say, take so amount of money, hold for me. All right. There are clients who I've never seen before, who have prepared documents. They are living in different countries of the world. I'll buy document for them. I'll hold the document for years. Why? Because they will never think of compromise or anything, because they trust me. I'm a dependable ally. I'm a dependable legal practitioner. So they have to put their trust and faith in my ability to deliver. So learn to be a trustworthy, dependable, and reliable person. It will help you escape liability and also help you attract extreme recommendation. And I have said this over and over again. You will never remain the same if you are recommendable. Recommendability is a purchasable commodity that ought to be gone for. One of the things that is missing in our business space is that people are no longer recommendable because of their drive to get profit, money, and all of that. They don't care about what happens tomorrow. So you must be dependable to get recommendability. All right. So the tenth one, the tenth one, you have to learn how to interpret the dream of your boss. Learn how to interpret the dream of your boss. Every system or company or organization has a dream, has a driving vision. All right. So if you want to be that person within that system, within that microcosm of the macrocosm, you have to learn to interpret the vision, the dream of that system. Once you are a person who have understood where that structure is headed, you become indispensable. The boss will recognize you because you are able to interpret the dream. Now, it is not enough to tell dreams. It is far much more better to interpret them. All right. We use the analogy of Joseph. All right. It is not enough for Joseph to tell Pharaoh his dream. All right. He had to go the next step to interpreting the dreams. All right. So most people are stunted in their growth process by knowledge. There's a level of knowledge that requires interpretation. All right, for it to amount to a ceremonial lifting in life. Some knowledge the as in requires interpretation. All right, so this guy knows the dream of Pharaoh. All right, but it's not enough to tell them that they're going to be 7 years famine and going to be 7 years of plenty. That requires interpretation. Interpretation is that someone needs to fit into the system, fit into the gap, fit into the space, and tell us what to do to outsmart the 7 years of droughts. That's the area that requires the interpretation of that dream. So in every system, we demand a Joseph that will fit into that space to be able to interpret, all right? To be able to interpret the vision and the dream of what? Every system. Okay? It's very, very important to be able to interpret the dream of that system. So it's not enough to, of course, get to tell the dream. You know, there are people who walk into a system, what they know is that they know the vision of the system. Okay? They know the vision of the system and they can tell you the vision of the system. The vision of our system is to, of course, turn individuals into super achievers, turn organizations into super players, and then turn nations into a desirable society. That's the vision of our system. But is it enough? It is not enough until one person moves from that level of telling the vision to being able to interpret the vision, because the solution that the vision carries is made manifest by the interpretation of the vision. And it is not everybody that will make it to vision interpretation. It's not everybody that will be able to interpret the dream. So to become indispensable in the workplace, you have to be that person who will not just be able to tell about the vision or the dream, you will also be able to interpret it. All right. So the last one is maintain a positive attitude. Attitude. That's the last one. Maintain a positive attitude. That's the last one. All right. So some people who have mathematically represented their cause have subscribed that attitude is everything. And of course, we're going to represent that attitude is everything. I choose to make this one the last one so that we'll dwell on it. Let's arithmetize it. Okay. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. All right. Then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So what you're going to do with me is we are looking for the word attitude. All right. So what number is A? One. A is 1. What number is T? T is 20. We have two T's here. 20. What number is I? 9. What number is T again? 20. What number is U? 21. What number is D? 4. What number is E? 5. So somebody should sum this up for us. In the arithmetic table, the word attitude is the only word in English language that carries 10%, 100% representation when you have to do with word listings. Okay? So that is to say that attitude is everything. So the next time you hear someone say things like attitude is everything, it means attitude is completeness. So the 11th and the last one said you must be able to maintain a positive attitude even in the midst of provocation. That your boss can provoke you and yet you maintain a positive attitude. That's a level of excellence. Because attitude is everything. Because not everybody can journey to that level. There are people that will release it to you. There are people that will just show you their dissatisfaction at the current time. All right? So that is to show you that attitude is everything. In whatever you do in life, it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to what happens to you. Because no one can determine what you say or do except you. Okay? Nobody can determine what happens to you except you. So you're entitled to your response to life. And that's why we say it's not about what happened to you, it's about how you react to what happened to you. So that boils down to attitude. Okay? So someone will lay a complaint and say he did this, he did that. No, 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 no. It's not about what people do because no one can determine what you say or do but you. All right. So I like people to become architects of their own responsibility, of their own culture, of their own unique selling proposition. And so this is where I'll have to stop. Just like I told you, I'm not going to take more than 30 minutes, okay, because of my health.